Ladies and gentlemen, a video response was made to one of my videos. I don't remember which one it was. And the guy just said I needed to get one of those hats. And he said the podium's great and everything, I just need one of those hats that they get the preachers, you know. And I haven't heard from him since, but he's back. Gratex, G-R-A-T-E-X. And we just want to bring him as a second example to concretize, if we could, scientific discussions, concrete thinking methods. If it's possible, Gratex is more concrete in his thinking, more confused. He's more equivocal with concretes. He is less able to abstract anything. So far from Azrianoff, who will talk about abstractions all day, none of which are connected to reality in any way. But from his latest video, which is a reply to my social Darwinism video, and he, by the way, I don't think he even watched it. I think he just replied to the title. If he did watch it, he didn't get anything from it, because he doesn't address it at all. He just speaks to his total misconceptions about capitalism, complete misconceptions, in spite of the fact that he, perhaps because of the fact that he lives in Britain. At around 8 minutes into the video, and I've got lots of quotes on there dealing with stuff up to about 6 or 7 minutes, but starting about 8 minutes will be plenty for us to deal with. He says, we don't have any Bachs and Mozarts running around. Now, he says there should be more Bachs and Mozarts as per Darwinism, right? Why aren't there more Bachs and Mozarts running around? And that's just an equivocation. Why would... Okay, so that means that being a Bach or a Mozart would... their genes would get more common, or their... what? Something of theirs would grow out into the culture. Is that true? And why hasn't it grown out into the culture? Well, from dawn to decadence, 1500 to the present, 500 years of Western cultural life, by Jacques Barzun, B-A-R-Z-U-N. This will tell you a little bit more about that, why we don't have Bachs and Mozarts running around anymore. But to say that the reason we don't have Bachs and Mozarts running around is because they're delivering pizza, which he later says, first of all, that's bizarre. Have you ever had a pizza delivered? It's not Mozart. That's not Mozart. That's one of the beautiful things about capitalism is, by and large, over time, people end up where they belong. By and large, a really, really brilliant, driven man who he's willing to work 80 hours a week. He's willing to get up if he goes broke and do it again. He's willing to risk everything he has. 80 hours a week, week after week after week, no vacation for 7 years straight if he, has some projects going or something. He should end up in charge of thousands of people's jobs. He should. And he should be able to eliminate some of those jobs as he needs. Bureaucrats shouldn't, but a private economy should. And the beautiful thing is, in capitalism, you don't get semi-mental retards running corporations the way that they used to get kings running whole empires because of heredity. Now, semi-mental retards might, help you at the drive-thru or something. I worked at Taco Bell for several years. I was an employer of semi-mental retards, people that had real problems dealing with anything at all. At all. Some of them you can only keep for a couple of weeks, and they start not showing up, and then you just have to fire them. There's instability in society, but that has to be, those people have to be sifted out and put at the bottom. That they select themselves to be put down there. The only other way is to have some sort of heredity or something. I mean, there's just no other way. All of history throughout all of mankind's endeavors shows you can't do it any other way but freedom. Freedom's better for everybody. Now, semi-mental retards, which everybody who's politically correct is going to be all upset that they're just going to be upset. These people now, we can pay them $5 an hour or something, and some people will say, you can't have a house and a car on that. You're goddamn right, you're going to have to live with your parents probably if you're making that little bit of money. or you're going to have to live with 3 or 4 other people in some sort of crowded little place with 1 kitchen and 4 bedrooms. I mean, you know, so what you're saying then, if that's your argument, is you're saying, oh, look at oppressive capitalism that makes semi-mental retards live in conditions better than anybody else in all of human history. Woe to the capitalism. Now, the King of France 500 years ago couldn't get a television, he couldn't get air conditioning, he couldn't get a computer, he couldn't get safe food or safe drinking water. We recently had some salmonella on tomatoes, and tomatoes are off. You can't get fresh tomatoes anywhere now because we just won't have it if it's not safe. Supposedly, I think it's a bunch of humbug, but whatever. The fact that semi-mental retards can get a wage job and live better than the King of France did 500 years ago is not an argument against capitalism. It's just not an argument against capitalism. Now, the Mozarts and Bachs, maybe they're delivering pizza when they're 17 or 22. Steve Jobs did. Maybe they are ringing you up at Taco Bell. The guy who educated your kid, the guy who started a school, of which there are now 30 or 40 schools in the nation. I know that it's probably illegal to do private education in England, but in America we're free. The guy who started this school or whatever used to just make videos for free on YouTube. You know, these things happen. People do deliver pizza when they're young. They do work at Taco Bell. What's beautiful in America is that your talents over time can carry you upwards. I'm not saying that's true in England. I'm saying that's true in capitalism. Yeah, it's like Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst government except for all the others. This one gives us better opportunity at happiness than any other. And that is why capitalism is a value. Not because it's the best, not because Mozart automatically has a subsidy. We could talk a little bit about subsidies to artists and stuff, the cost of good intentions. That's the New York City and the Liberal Experiment. This is by Charles R. Morris. You might look into that if you want to know the cost of good intentions. Oh, we wouldn't want a Picasso or someone to be delivering pizzas, so anybody who aspires to art, which means anyone who pisses on a canvas,